Hi guys, and welcome to part 2 of the C++ and Visual Studio Primer by Dexter's Rust. In the previous video we done the intro and the project creation. In this episode we're going to add and include and do a hello YouTube sort of thing. For now I'm going to turn this into a comment so that it's not stopping execution, so we can actually execute stuff. Now if we do our include, so if we take a look at the actual notes, it's going to be a hash include IO stream, hash include IO stream. Right, now this is so that we can use C out. C in well, just at the moment we're concentrating on C out. That's what we're going to actually use, and it's actually called by std : C out. Okay, and std : and okay, that's basically the calling convention there, and it'll be hello YouTube. Okay, so basically, because we've included this, we have a library of input-output functions and methods already at our disposal. One of them is cout. Another thing that's not actually a method, that's how can I say that? That's kind of like a piece of data saying it's end of line. So cout uses these insertion operators, which may seem a bit weird because a lot of the time that's bit shift left, but when used in conjunction with cout, it's actually an insertion operator, so it's inserting whatever we put after it into this method. So at the moment it's inserting that, then it's inserting an end line. So if I actually add that this line of code to the main, okay, what that's going to do is going to pop up on the screen hello YouTube, calling it from this include file. So the fact that that's like a separate include, that means that it's just imagine another, see this H file here. Literally, let's imagine we had here in fact I'll just paste it. Say we had this in that, obviously see how it's moaning because it hasn't got no include here saying to include the thing that has this method in. So we'd have to do a include IO stream here. Not that though, what the hell was that? And that would fix that problem. Or it should fix that problem. I think IntelliSense is just lagging. Cancel that. Let's just moan about Google Chrome or something. Okay, so we've got IO stream now, and it's all on working with cout there. So that's that. If I save this, we'll see the hello world pop up, but it'll just pop up and then disappear because it goes put this on the screen or the console and end basically. It's returning. Basically, return is to return control from this method to whatever is next. So if we called a method like prn, for instance, from main, it would go into this prn function, run what it needs to, and when it hits the end of it, it returns into the main method. But since it's a void, it's not returning any data back to this method. We could tell it that it wanted to be a int, for instance, in which case what it would do is you'd have to add a return, and you could return a number, say if it was 12. what would happen is you'd call PRN from main, then it'd run, and at the end it would spit out 12. So if you were then to do something like add another insertion operator and literally have PRN, what that would actually do is it'd say hello YouTube space 12 if that were callable. If you notice, it's got a red line under it because it doesn't understand what it is. And the reason for this is because we haven't included this header file in the thing itself. Yeah. So if I actually take that part out and only include the return, so basically all this does is it runs and returns 12. That's it. It doesn't actually do any actual other stuff. It just returns 12 to whatever's called it. So if I save that, and now I need to include a file. So I'm including this header file, but because it's not in the path of the includes, which is in your project setup, which we'll get into at some point, just not in the next few videos. If it's not within the include path, then it needs to be explicitly told where it is. Now this is in the same directory as the source CPP. If we look at show all files, they're actually in the same directory really. It's only like logical headings that were saying header files and this and that. So because they're in the same folder, all we need to do is we're addressing it with its name rather than a whole full path or anything like that. And we still do the hash include, but instead of using the angle brackets, we actually use speech marks and just header.h. If that was in a folder, it would be, let's say if it was in a include folder, it would be like something like that. Obviously it's not there, so it's giving me an error saying no, that's not there. But that's basically how we add that. And all that does is it basically copies and pastes whatever's in this. You imagine you just copied it and pasted it in wherever that is. So you'd end up with, instead of the include header.h, you'd have that. Which does mean that you've got two copies of IOStream added. But again, this param once tells it that only include it once. So if it's been included there, it'll ignore that for the next include. So it'll only have whatever data is in the first IOStream, all pasted at the start there. But obviously we're breaking up into things, so that's there. Okay, so now basically what should happen is it should say stdc out blah blah hello YouTube space 12 based upon it going into here and returning 12 at the end of it. So should we see if that actually does what we're expecting? I mean, it's going to, but it's going to just flash up on the screen and disappear because of one little thing that I'll get to in a moment. You've got to keep your eyes open for this. It's going to just basically appear and gone. Once it's actually compiled and built and whatever. It's looking at the files, compiling the separate source files and whatever. So then including whatever header files within those source files and then running it. Cool. I don't know if you actually saw that, but that did what we expected. Now what we can do is we can add a pause. So call a system command and actually just run a command. Now there's a command in all the way since DOS called pause, so we can just run that, and what that'll do is that'll wait for, basically it'll say press any key to continue. To close the window, it'll press it. You have to press a key of some sort. So if we now compile this and run this, it'll actually stay on the screen for us to see. So that's doing and running, and there we go. So we did what we expected. It says hello YouTube 12. Okay, so let's get out of that for a minute. Now let's have it do the other thing. It's going to say hello YouTube, then it's gonna do hello YouTube 12 based upon what we've got there. So hello YouTube from the include file. Yeah. So this will be calling the hello YouTube from the include file, and then returning 12 to the system. Well, returning 12 to the main, which will then be used as a piece of data in the next cout statement here. So this time it'll say hello YouTube from the include file, and then it'll say hello YouTube 12 based upon that. But what I'm going to actually do is change that to 20, just to be different, just to show that it's actually returning the values what we say. So I'll run that. Debug mode. We'll talk about debug mode and release mode at some point as well, because I want to cover a few different things on this. Okay, so hello YouTube from the include file. For some reason it's done it twice. Why did it do it twice? Okay, let's have a look at this. That's only called me once. Bit confused about that. There's a bit of a weird thing to happen, really. Let's try it one more time, just in case it was just a glitch. Overran and had a problem or something, because that seems a bit strange that it would do it twice. That's a bug. I don't know whether it was a runtime bug and had something in memory when it did it, or yeah, it's doing it from the include file twice. Oh, sorry. I know what's happening. Sorry, because it's running it here and running it here, it's doing it twice. Do you know what I mean? So if I take this out, that should do it. So I do order operation and run the thing as well. So this is where bugs can come in based upon you expecting it to do one thing and then it does completely a different thing. There we go. So that's iterated over that and run it through. And it's done pretty much to an extent.